Hey, what's going on YouTube? UA Reviews here, and welcome back to the Football 101 series on football cleats. So in this video, we will be talking about low-cut football cleats. So, low football cleats are, easy to identify. It's going to be a cleat that is going to be a smoother, lighter look than, say, a mid or a high cleat. One thing that you can definitely tell, the ankle height from the bottom of the cleat to where it's its highest point around here where the ankle is. That's really how you're going to tell a difference between a low to a mid cleat. So it's not hard to determine that. Most cleats are going to say if they're a low or a mid cleat, but sometimes it does vary from brand to brand. So this Nike cleat and this Under Armour one are awfully similar in height, if you can kind of compare them side by side. So those would both classify as low cleats, even though the Nikes, it could differ in some ways, but other than that, these are both low cleats. Same thing with this cleat, this Nitro 3. It's got about the same height. So it really just depends on, it depends on brand to brand, but all brands are going to say if they're a low, mid cleat. So you just kind of have to identify low cleats with. So we can talk about, what positions low cleats are best for, but how I would best classify low cleats is for skill players. And what I would consider skill players would either be a player that's a receiver, running back, defensive backs. Those are all skill position players. Now, where it gets weird is it starts to vary when you start talking about different positions like linebacker, quarterback, fullbacks, running backs, even sometimes in tight ends. It's all, personally, for me, I would base it on preference. What do you like to wear? Are you more of a speed type of, say if you're an outside linebacker, are you a speed type of rusher? Is your style of play depending on the cleat that you wear. If linebackers might prefer a mid to high cleat even sometimes, just because for protection. Same thing with running backs and fullbacks. It may be different on your protection wise. Do you want a higher cleat for protection? So really, I would say low cleats, skill players. Now, you can define skill players, a lot of different positions, but I would just base it off of your playing style. So if you're a speed player, say, receivers are mostly speed players, defensive backs, speed players, but when it comes to really strange is when we start talking, because there's different styles of running backs, there's different styles of tight ends and linebackers, so it all really just depends on your playing style. And, if you're not really familiar with that, your safest bet is to just go with a cleat that's in the middle of the road, like a mid cleat. Middle of the road. That's kind of how I classify that with, if you haven't fully developed as an athlete yet, and, if you're wearing a low cleat thinking that it's going to make you faster, it's not. It could actually increase your risk for injury, being that these cleats, have a low ankle wall that could... it's easy for you. It would be easier for you to sprain an ankle easier, whether if you're wearing a mid cleat and you were able to have a little bit more protection around your ankle to keep that ankle locked in. And if it's kind of exposed there, it just leaves you at risk for injury. So if you're a younger player, not fully developed, I would say your best bet is just to go with a mid cleat. But we will talk about mid cleats a little more in depth on that. Skill players, once you have developed quite a bit and you're able to impede on your style of play a lot more. Your cleat style, will just kind of come at your preference. So that's going to kind of wrap up this video on low cleats. Next week I will post a video on mid to high cleats, and we will kind of talk about the different positions that can use those cleats and kind of how they differ as far as the height of the protection, what positions they're for. We'll talk about all that. So hopefully you enjoy this video. Come back next week and see the next part. Thanks for watching.